How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, as always, joined by our newly appointed co-host, Robby from the Red Army. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Before we get started, just let me know, guys, in the chat if you guys can hear us. That's the most important thing before we go any further. I've learned to stop now and just sort of double check if you guys can hear me, then rant on for 5 minutes and then go, oh shit, they didn't hear me. Well, I was talking to myself for 5 minutes. So yeah, just let us know in the chat if you can hear us. That'd be great. Crummy's here. Yep, sound all good. There we go. Rob's all over it. You can hear us in the background. How's things been, mate? How was your weekend? Obviously, other than the grand final, what else did you get up to?
Had a couple of games to referee myself, and they went all right. A bit of State League 1 action. So, yeah, that was a good bit of football rounds, apart from the fact I didn't have to travel to Sydney for it.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah, and I had a pretty quiet weekend. I decided to... Well, we didn't play this week. We had a bye this week, and then obviously we don't play next week because of the long weekends. So pretty much 2 weeks off footy. So I decided to go to work. Yeah, I was like freaking jumped at the chance to go to work on the weekend and earn some big dollars, and sat at work and watched the grand final from there. So very interesting. Before we get any further, big shout out to Gabriel Ma, optometrist at Jasmine, our major sponsor. Be sure to go see those guys for all your eye care needs. So whether it be gaming, if you're gaming or whatever it is, so blue light glasses like the ones I've got on at the moment, or prescription, whatever, sunnies, fishing as well. Lockie obviously is a mad fisherman, so obviously they get the best in of the fishing world, so to make sure that you can see everything and the glare off the water and all that sort of shit. So be sure to go see those guys down there, let them know we sent you, and they'll hook you up with a pretty nifty discount as well. The other guys, Cafe Cafe, top of town. If you haven't been into the Cafe Cafe yet, be sure to go do so. Julian's an absolute legend there. Great food, great coffee, and if you're a Reds fan, a heap of Reds there on game days and so forth to cheer on the Reds. So yeah, be sure to get down there if you haven't already and get your coffee and feed, or just mingle with the Reds fans when the footy's back. So anyway, we're We're starting anew. Robby and I here. Benny, as we said last week, has wrapped up for a while. No idea when he'll be back, but I'm sure you'll see him floating around in the chat from week to week with, I'm sure, some interesting comments and friggin' so forth. So feel free to say g'day to him if he's in there. But Robby and I are going to friggin' take charge from now until we hear back from Benno. Grand final. We'll talk some European football as well. Some big news over there in Europe at the moment from all angles, whether from coaching to playing and promotion, relegation and all that jazz. So we'll try and touch on a fair bit of that tonight in the hour we've got. Feel free if you've got anything in the chat you want to say or get off your chest. Whack it in there. We'll try and get to as much of it as we possibly can. There is Benno right there. Boom. There you go. Friggin' Benno's in the chat. Welcome, Benno. Robby.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Grand final. 7:45 kickoff. What were you thinking at 7:45 p.m.?
To be quite frank with you, I was getting ready to go for dinner with the missus because, to be honest with you, there was nothing that interested me in that game. I ended up chucking on while I was getting ready. I was hearing Danny Townsend talk. I'm like, yeah, I do need to take a shit. So basically, for me, the only pleasure I got out of that was watching the City football group, one of the most overfunded, overhyped sporting conglomerates around the world, get smashed, absolutely smashed 6-1. I think someone said it was the highest score margin grand final in A-League history. I do like to state that that wasn't, but I'm happy for everyone else to forget the last time we had the scoreline of that, because we don't need to talk about it. That's why. Look, fair credits to the cum dog. And look, as much as we may hate Coast Scum on this podcast, you got to tip your hat to them. I mean, I look at it this way: at least we got beaten by the grand finalists. But they just came out. They were obviously a lot better mentally prepared for the game than City were. I think City thought they almost had it in the bag and obviously took their eyes off the prize. Didn't help with Berisha obviously getting injured so soon into the game. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it was a fair 50-50. They've both gone for the ball, and goalkeepers come out on top and Berisha's come out second best. So, never good to see a player go off that early on into the grand final. I think it was about the 15th or the 16th minute. And then just from there, basically, Central Coast Mariners ran all over them. A second half performance that, I don't think we'll ever see the likes of again in our time. But, yeah, look, as I said, if we want to go into the other stuff, I'm happy to let loose. But what about your thoughts first, Josh?
Yeah, plenty to talk about, obviously. Look, settled in. I wasn't going to miss it. You know what I mean? I didn't have dinner plans or anything like that. As I said, I was at work, so it was either that or paperwork. So friggin' decided to chill out and watch the game and do the paperwork at the same time. But there's no way in hell anyone was predicting that scoreline whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, not even close. It was total domination from the, as you said, once Berisha went. I think that sort of, I don't think it killed the game and so forth. I don't think it overly rattled City, but I don't know. The coast seen more advantage out of that than anything else, and they took full dominance of it, and they grabbed hold of it and they never let go. I think that's the biggest thing I can take out of that game, was the fact that they never took the foot off the pedal. Even when City scored, you never thought that was it. You know what I mean? That was going to be the end of the goals. Central Coast, they had plenty in them. Granted, a couple of them were some penalties and so forth, but they were deserving penalties. You can't. We've had so many iffy decisions with penalties and stuff like that in the past, but they were as clear as day. It was good to see Naboot acknowledging his fuck up. You know what I mean? Not trying to sort of go to the referee going fucking, I never touched him. He knew he was fucked. So, the young Central Coast bloke himself, born and bred, and comes on, and I think within the first 2 to 3 minutes, friggin' 2 penalties, and the game was dead. So, look, there's been plenty of hype in the last couple of days from the Jet supporters and everything else going, fuck the Coast, all this shit. Mate, as you said, you've got to tip their hats off to them. They dominated that game from start to finish. They deserved every goal they got, including the penalties. You know what I mean? Like, they were in the right spot at the right time, and the City group lashed out, and the City boys lashed out, and they got punished for it. So, for me as a Jets fan, I think it's the best thing that could have happened. It's the best outcome. You know what I mean? There was no better outcome than that victory, especially the size of the victory for me. Because if that doesn't send a rocket to the Jets group, I don't know what does. That this is what's happening. This is what's happening around you. You've got a club that was friggin' pretty much dead. They were looking at friggin', looking for new owners and everything else, and they got one of the smallest budgets, one of the smallest catchments, obviously, in the Central Coast itself. And look what they're doing. 3 wooden spoons, and here they are. Friggin' they made up for every single one of those wooden spoons in that game. So what is everyone else's thoughts in the chat? Obviously, whack your thoughts in there. If you're happy for the Coast, if you're not, you're still sort of on that friggin' I'll never support the Coast. Fucking, it's not about supporting them. It's just that the fact that they deserved everything they got. They deserved everything they gave to City, and City deserved everything they got because they didn't show up. I think the biggest thing for me out of that, the biggest high I can give to the City group and the praise was not fucking putting Jamo on the pitch, fucking and humiliating him in his last game. Fucking mate, there's no way. I guarantee you, if I'm telling you now, if the coach comes to me and goes, "Friggin' mate, we need you on," I'm going, "You can fuck right off." This warm still needs a bit of fucking heat over here, and I've fucking got plenty of heat to give it, so I'm not moving off this fucking bench gun. I'm not even going to go stretch up for you. Fucking.
No. The other big one as well, just wanted a huge shout out to Brian. So he actually came from FK Beograd in South Australia. And very much the first time, first professional debut this season. And bang, next thing you know, he's in the grand final.
Yeah.
Didn't he? I think he scored as well, one of the goals.
Yep.
Yep. So, absolute full-on respect. And look, corner. Benny said it best there. It's like, look, you hate Coast. Absolutely. Understandable. They're your rivals. You're always going to have a burning hatred for them, but you do have to respect. I mean, both them. I think the thing that I've always respected the Coast for is they've gone down the same path as Adelaide United.
Yep.
They've trusted in their youth. They've developed their youth. They've built from that ground up. And you can see it's now paying dividends. I mean, put it to you this way. You got the City Football Group who are basically chucking money at everything and hoping that's going to fix your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second and third place team right thereafter are youth development in Australia.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you about the league? It says the 3 top sides at the moment are either chucking money at it or acknowledging that they've got some bloody good talent coming through and they're willing to build up. So I'm hoping that's what we see at Newcastle Jets because I've seen some of the youth that you guys have pulled through, and the only way that they're actually getting anything done at the moment is they're having to move to another club. So I'm hoping that eventually it stops going to a stage where they have to move to another club. They can stay at Newcastle Jets and become a club legend like Taylor Regan.
Yeah,
he came to Adelaide, but at the end of the day, he came back and finished off with you guys. So
that's right.
And he's a Newey boy through and through. So, we good to start talking about the shit fest that was the Fire Festival 2.0.
Yeah, we will quickly touch on that. Just a quick one there. Welcome Christopher Smith. It's a bit rich there, mate. Putting one of Australia's greatest golfers of all time into the fucking same category as the City Group. Unbelievable. He choked in some friggin' major tournaments, but Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
He knew his place. He stayed the fuck away from Australia. He went to Canada and he built a friggin' nice mansion. He fucking stayed there.
A few golf courses at that as well.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. So, welcome, Christopher. Thanks for the comment in the chat. We'll definitely get onto that. The biggest thing for me out of that whole grand final and the Central Coast winning is the fact that these guys are going to be in the ACL. Can I just touch on that? Like, the Central Coast Mariners in the ACL is just something that you don't think of. Like, as I said, one of the smallest catchment areas. Probably shouldn't have been there. Probably at the start of the year. Another miserable season for him and shit like that. I'm sure everyone was sort of thinking it. And, friggin' surprise packet, here they are, and took it to City and dominated the game. So, just under 30,000.
Here's the question, though.
Yeah.
Are they a part of the ACL? Because didn't they need a special license to play in the ACL?
So Central Coast, the club itself is fine. The club is fine. it's whether Monty has a fucking A license. A pro, sorry, not an A license, a pro license. See, if he's only got the A license, that doesn't allow him to friggin' coach in Asia. So that's what happened with somebody. I can't remember who the fuck that was. But it was the same thing with another coach. He had to friggin', like, in the off-season, like, literally now. Like, they were, like, scrambling to get it sorted. Yeah, friggin'. But, yeah, no, the coach should be fine. I think they've already played in one anyway. So they should be fine.
Yeah, but I think they set up a new license as well a few years ago.
Okay.
Where I think you have to have a secondary license. I think there was only 2 or 3 clubs in Australia that held the license or the payment to be actually able to go over and compete. So they can actually register, or they can qualify, but if they don't have this license, they don't actually get into it.
Well, there you go. Something to look into. Might hit up Laurie. He might have an in on that one and double check it for us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But yeah, Anyway, that's the game. The season's done and dusted. Obviously, 27,000 people attendance, which is pretty dismal.
Abysmal.
I suppose it's good. It's good when you put them in a 30,000 seater stadium.
Well, I'm going to be brutally honest here.
Yeah.
The fact that the A-League and Keep Up and APL are sitting there trying to compare it to stats from 2021, which were in peak fucking COVID, is just, it's like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound.
Yeah.
All right? You're trying to tell us that everything went all hunky-dory when you have a look at some of the photos there, and the fact that there's 27,000 there, I'm almost calling bullshit.
Yeah.
It's either heavily inflated or people scanned their tickets and then got, taken out before they got into the seats.
Yeah.
Because it did not look like 27,000. And this is one time where you sort of want South Melbourne Mike to go around and do a head count. The other thing I'll just say, so this is a direct quote from our favourite Danny Townsend. Where is it? People need to move beyond that, right? Townsend said, that was the old structure. We have a new structure. The hosting right is a thing of the past. We have an event. It's a one-off match, a fixed venue. As time passes, it's at least over the next 3 years. Everyone needs to come to terms with that. The only way we are going to come to terms with that is if Danny Townsend fucking resigns. He has done nothing but become a stain on Australian football. He has done nothing but fucking fabricate and tell us bullshit throughout the whole series of events that this has happened. The effects that we've requested of him to complete, he has not done to the standards, and this fan group shit is not going to help. So as far as I'm concerned, just bear with me 1 second, sorry. He is in a situation at the moment where if he does not improve his ability to bring back the fans, he will lose the Australian public. And not only lose the Australian public, but he will make the A-League collapse. I'm sorry, but you cannot sit there and try and tell the conglomerate that the fans are being emotional when all we have said to him from the time being, hey, mate, you've just ruined a very, very important part of Australian football culture. Right? This is a historical event for us. This is an opportunity for the hosting to be held at the team who finished top of the ladder and finished the highest place. It's not just an emotional factor. It is the ability to be able to be there behind your team. The thing that upset me the most on Saturday night was sitting there watching a City Grand Final. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of the City Football Group. I've said it openly. I despise them and what they are basically entailing. They are a conglomerate of football clubs, all right? And they are just a shitload of money's chucked at them. It doesn't matter about the culture. They are just trying to breed winners, all right? But as far as I'm concerned, the fact that 95% of that stadium was jam-packed full of yellow and blue is disgusting. Tell me, how does that home change room affect that? It doesn't. You can't beat a home change room to a home crowd. And Central Coast Mariners had a home crowd there. Look, it's all that same situation of if Central Coast Mariners finished higher than Melbourne City, no problems with it. Because at the end of the day, they've earned that right. But City were the highest placed team in that ladder. They were finished on top of everyone that they've versed. And I can tell you right now, there's a good chance that if it was played over in Melbourne or at Amy Park or wherever, and it had more Melbourne City fans and Seagulls and green seats, I think we'd probably be having a different discussion right now.
Yeah.
But it is beyond fathomable that they are allowing a person who is supposed to be talking for the head of the APL to constantly dismiss and destroy the connection that the loyal fans have with this game. And at the moment, he's trying to bring new people in, but he's destroying the loyalty that those diehards have with their clubs and with the sport in general. So something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And quite frankly, it starts with the resignation of Danny Townsend.
Righto. Well, yeah, look, I think he definitely can't be sitting there stating that it was a success. I heard that the whole shenanigans that were happening on Friday was pretty poor. The turnout and everything else, there was a lot of neutrals and stuff like, which is great. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but those neutrals should have been backed up by, a fair few thousand diehard supporters, whether that be City fans and so forth. Coming up on the Friday, doing the Friday thing, staying the Friday night, staying the Saturday night, and then going home Sunday. You can't imagine that's happened. You got to think that 90% of the City fans have come up on the Saturday morning. They've witnessed the game or whatever it was, pretty pissed, obviously, and have flown out, before lunch on Sunday. So, I said this in the chat. I said that if this was in Melbourne, would this scoreline be what it is right now, 6-1? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and say that would have happened in Melbourne. I think they probably would have had a good chance of winning the grand final. If it was down there, no disrespect, obviously, the Central Coast Mariners. They came in, they done the job, they took everything out of it, regardless of what Townsend had done and shit like that, and just got down to the business and just done it. But yeah, look, it could have been a very different game if it was in Melbourne, and a lot of the City fans and got to go to the game instead of traveling the 5 minutes and maybe the $50 it may have cost them via a train and Uber and shit like that. So anyway, we're gonna move on from it. Friggin' congratulations again to the Central Coast Mariners. Well deserved on the day, regardless of where it was, regardless of all the shit around it. They were the better team on the pitch. So congratulations to them. Unlucky to, obviously, as we were saying before, bloody freaking, oh fuck, now I've just lost his name. What's his name from City, who fucking didn't even play, and finished up his fucking career. Happy days. And obviously Beathy, pretty good game. Not too many issues, not too many errors. He was pretty solid with the whistle. No real mistakes or anything like that. Nothing that really caused any drama and shit anyway. And finished a great grand final, got his medal, and absolute stellar career for Beathy. Sort of disappointing, to be honest. You know what I mean? To see him go. He's not overly old or anything like that. But he obviously felt the time was right and had to hang up the whistle and be done with it, mate. What are your thoughts on your fellow referee, mate? You've can't have done much more, to be honest. He's pretty much done everything at referee level. So,
look, I was lucky enough to actually meet the guy a few years back, probably second or third year refereeing. He came over for our yearly seminar / updates on the law of the game. And one of my mates and I were lucky enough to sit next to Beathy throughout the seminar. And one of the favourite moments was the day after, I think we played against Western Sydney Wanderers at home, and Beefy had played or called no to a potential pass back. And the Red Army were just going nuts like we do, right? So I'm sitting there next to Beefy, talking about the game last night, and someone mentions the pass back and it's like, why didn't you give it to him? And he's like, well, it's simple, because there were still two defenders between the goalkeeper and the person passing back. So I can't determine exactly, without any series of doubt, that it was meant to go back to the goalkeeper. It could have gone back to the defender and just, been a hooked shot. And from that moment, I was just like, the way he is able to explain the law of the game, the way he is able to interpret, was a real turning point in my refereeing career, which was, this is the sort of referee I want to be. I've sat and watched neutral games quite often, just watching Beef and where his positioning is, how he interacts with the players, how he interacts with the coaching staff, how he carries himself on the pitch. And it's very pressed to find another referee in the A-League. I think the only other one I've seen probably at the same level is Jared Gillett, in regards to the respect he gains from his the players on the pitch.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there who's been bashing him in his career online, and to be quite honest with you, as I've always said, I'd like to see you pull out a whistle, 2 cards, and get on the pitch and do it yourselves, and just see how hard the actual job is before you start throwing stones at someone else's career. Because quite frankly, as I said, that guy, I have nothing but respect for. I think he's definitely one of the best referees Australia has produced.
Yep.
And I'm just hoping that he continues on to the next part of his career, whether that be working with Football Australia and the referee development, whether that be, going back to his home state and actually, coaching, educating and training referees there. We're lucky over here. We have Matthew Cream, who's one of our coaches. He's former FIFA badged linesman, and he himself, just listening to him for half an hour, you gain so much knowledge and wealth and experience just from hearing him and the way he explains the law of the game. I seriously believe if crowds were able to listen to the referees for even 15 minutes, we'd have a far easier job on our hands with them trying to interpret the law of the game as a spectator than we do at the moment. But
it's funny you say that, mate, because I was literally about to bring that up, and that was going to be one of the final things in regards to it was, hopefully in the coming seasons, we see a lot more, as you said, the referees being able to the fans being able to listen to the referee. I think it's probably one of the best things about the NFL. Not a big NFL fan or anything like that in America, but at the end of the day, the fact that they can switch on and off their friggin' comms or whatever it is to be able to go, right, this is what the friggin' penalty's for, this is what's happening, la la la, and then switch his comms back off and just get back to business. There's no arguments from the fans and shit like that. It's just, and even if it happens straight away, they don't arc up because they're going to go, well, he's going to turn his microphone on in a minute and he's going to let us know exactly what it fucking was for. So, they don't even have to stress about that shit. They know it's coming. They know he's going to tell us what's going on. And as you said, just micking them up and so forth, I think would be great. Even just a fourth official or something like that would be frigging great. Just to be able to listen to them, just even shut the coaches up, in a sense. You know what I mean? Mate.
Look, my only concern with that would be, and I'm not saying the referees themselves, but you'd be having to beep every second word.
Well, yeah.
You've been on a football pitch yourself, and
yeah.
We want to make sure this is family friendly, but when you're hearing players, you're hearing coaches. I mean, Carl Beer himself, coach of the year, he knows how to drop an F-bomb or two, and I've even said it to himself. He's got to watch his profanity sometimes, especially on the pitch as a referee. But I think that it's easier said than done. There's never going to be a holistic approach in regards to getting the fans and referees onto the same page. But I honestly believe it starts from people doing their own homework. I mean, there's no issue with you jumping on to FIFA or even Football Australia and doing the law of the game course yourself and it's a bit of fun, check out, see if you're able to pass a course. It's free, it's easy to use, and to be honest with you, it's the first step as a referee. So if you can pass the law of the game course, then you're on the way. But at the moment, when I've got coaches trying to tell me that a pass back is a penalty kick when it's an indirect, it's quite hard sometimes to argue with idiocy. So, it's one of those situations where everyone's got an opinion. They're entitled to it. Yep. They may be wrong, they may be right, but they're entitled to their opinion. It's when they overstep the line, such as over in Europe, the referee that was just trying to get to the airport and being accosted by fans, and Mourinho, who constantly has no respect for a referee.
No, he's a pest.
And quite frankly, that guy just needs to quit, because to be honest with you, he does so much damage to the reputation of referees when he has no idea what he's talking about. Don't get me wrong, you can be a great coach, be absolutely strategical, tactical till the cows come home, but if you don't know the laws of the game and you're trying to abuse a referee for it, then you got some issues.
Yeah, well, that's it. He's copped a big fine from FIFA, which obviously isn't gonna. It's a band-aid, but at the end of the day, something's been done for it. He's not stupid. You know what I mean? Like, he's an idiot, and he doesn't mind frigging opening his mouth and shit like that. But at the same time, it's not called for. It's not needed, and it is what it is. So moving on from that. As we said, Big ups to the Beathy. I hope he enjoys his retirement from on the pitch. Hopefully he stays well and truly within the refereeing industry, the field of refereeing, as you said, whether it be at sort of junior level or top level, being head of coaching or head of the referees or whatever. So good luck to him on whatever his next chapter will be. What do we got in here? Lukey, welcome, mate. Obviously late coming, just going to chill back. Matty, welcome. Tony, referee himself. Fans just need to understand the LOTG.
Absolutely, Tony. Law of the game.
Yeah. Anyway, well, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, can we've touched on the referees. We've touched on the A-League retirements. Can we touch on get the tissues out? Get the freaking it's a sad fucking day. It is a sad day. If you love watching Magic, you could almost say he's been nicknamed a lot, but for me the biggest one is Ibracadabra. For me is the best nickname. You can sum him up, mate. Fucking Ibrahimovic announced his retirement of football today, mate. He is a fucking goat. You talk about your Ronaldos, you talk about your Messis and shit like that. Ibra, mate, he's on a different planet. He's on his own planet.
I put him up there next to Zinedine Zidane.
Oh, absolutely. I
still remember the first day he came over to LA Galaxy. He took out a full-page ad in the LA Times. And all it said was, "Dear LA, you're welcome." Signed Ibrahimovic. And I was just like, that's such a cocky, egotistical prick move, and I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And I think wasn't his first or second game with him. He was starting on the bench.
Yeah.
They were 2-0 down. He told the coach, either you put me on now or I get you sacked.
Yeah.
And he put him on, and he ended up winning the game for him.
Yeah. The US move probably wasn't the smartest move from anyone else other than him. It caused a lot of ruffle and shit like that. Oh yeah, but it caused a lot of issues for the MLS because he was just into everybody and he didn't give a shit who it was. He was taking everyone down. The best one for me in the MLS was the one where the reporter's gone to him. Oh, friggin' this bloke or whatever it is, friggin' he scored all these goals and he's in his prime and all that sort of shit. And Ibra goes, "How old is he? 29? He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "And he's playing in the MLS. Where the fuck was I at 29?
Mm-hmm.
And old mate's like, "Oh, I'm playing for AC Milan." He goes, "Yeah, in Europe, where the real men play." It just walks off. I was like, fucking well done. Bravo.
I have nothing but respect for the guy,
mate.
and I wish him all the best. I'm excited to see what he does in his retirement because you just know he's either going to be killing it or he's going to be such a massive shit poster. And now that he's not, ruled by contractual law, he's going to be unleashed. They're letting a pit bull out into the chook farm.
Yeah.
Good on him.
I can already picture it now.
History.
I'll give him a couple of days and freaking there'll be a bloody nice, beautiful yacht. It's coming into summertime. Mate, it's going to be a fuckload of women on the back of a boat somewhere. And freaking, mate, him and Patrice Evra. I could picture the both of them just freaking. But yeah, absolute magic. He's a magician. He was freaking great to watch. At the end of the day, he backed up everything he said. And if you haven't seen it and you don't know, if you're young in the sort of chat and everything else, if you have not seen it, type in Ibrahimovic, Sweden, bicycle kick, mate. It is the most amazing. It's magic. But it's the fucking detail. You watch it in slow-mo and the detail of how he gets his body into position and the connection on the mate. It's just next level.
Just chucking on his highlights on YouTube, you can sit there and watch hours upon hours of highlights. And anytime that guy just jumped on the pitch, you knew something special was going to happen.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny because obviously, if you've been watching Ted Lasso, the new season. There's a character on there that joins the club. I won't give too much spoilers, but he is basically a clone. He is a clone of Ibrahimovic, and it's beautiful to watch because it's like you can tell that's a bit how he would be like in the locker room. So, speaking of movement, obviously not a retirement, but you were saying before Benzema and Messi the Saudi.
Yeah, so we'll quickly touch on that one. Louise, friggin' bicycle kick. It's definitely up there, one of the all-time great goals. There's been plenty of them. I won't probably put it as the best, but it's definitely got to be top 5, you'd imagine. But welcome anyway. Thank you for the comment. Mate, I'm just fucking gobsmacked, to be honest. Like Benzema to friggin' Saudi Arabia, Messi to Saudi Arabia. It's just fucking, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, right? I reckon he's the shit. I reckon he's the bee's knees. And there's so much talk of freaking who's the best and shit like that.
Messi's the guy.
Yeah, but
he's got the World Cup.
Look, it's the only thing. Yeah. But fucking, he's got to pay a lot of money to get that.
It doesn't matter. You got it.
You had to pay a lot of money. There's a lot of tax dollars freaking gone into that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going down that fucking shitstorm. I'm just going with the fact that Ronaldo went over there, and honestly, he's got to be sitting there thinking to himself, this was fucking a mistake, because he's struggled over there. He struggled with friggin' just the dynamic of the play of everything as well. It's just a shit show. So I don't know how they're going to go over there. Obviously, it's clearly for the money. There's no question about that. There's talk in the realm of Messi, $2 billion. Like, that's just next level.
By the way, I think it was Lewis, not Louise.
Lewis. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's Lewis.
Sorry, my apologies. Fucking hell.
He's just sent me a message. He's like, I'm so upset right now. I'm like,
yeah, you should be.
Too.
Don't worry, mate.
Don't worry. These pricks still spell my name with an IE. So
that's Ben. That's Ben. Don't blame me for that one. I don't put that shit.
And yeah, sorry, on the money, Zava. That's who I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the bloody character's name.
Yes.
But yes.
I do apologise, Lewis. What was I going to say? Fucking but it's going to be crazy. Benzema's over there now, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, I just think Benzema for me is just magic to see. He was on the scrap heap for him a couple of years ago. He couldn't get a game at friggin' Madrid and everything else. Like, I get him moving on. They've got to pay for the young English bloke. Fucking somehow.
How old's Benzema now? Because I know Messi's 35.
He'd be 32, maybe, without me looking at it.
So, look, I'll be realistic here. I mean, it's the same happens with our boys over here. You've spent your big times in the European leagues or your higher leagues, and you've played your guts out, you've played your body out, and you know yourself when you start hitting to that phase where you're like, look, my body's just not keeping up with the younger guys now. They're clocking 30 plus K an hour, and I'm clocking at around 25, 26K an hour.
Yeah.
You start looking at yourself and going, look, I still want to play. I still can play. Someone's going to chuck me a boatload worth of cash to go play halfway across the world. I look at it this way. As a player, you never guaranteed a career. You never guaranteed how long it's going to be. Unlike us in the real world.
Yeah.
Where we can work until we're 70, 75 if we have to.
Yeah.
These guys have practically a 20-year stint if they're lucky, and that's highly lucky to make money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't dislike Ronaldo. I don't like Messi. I don't like Benzema going over to Saudi Arabia or the Middle East to make the cash. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you look at it this way: if you're getting offered $2 billion to go over to Saudi Arabia to kick a ball around, fucking oath you're going to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that for me is absolutely. There's nothing in regard. My only thing with it is like it's just. I'd hope that they would probably bring it out of Saudi Arabia. Like, those two teams or whatever it is, just, I don't know, put them into like a fucking major pre-season thing or whatever it is, and they bring them out around the world, maybe back to Europe or something, just so everybody can see it.
It'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
It'd be stupid not to.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine the money they would make?
Well, they've got to recoup some of it somehow.
You look at it this way. If you were to say, hey, we're going to bring Ronaldo, Messi, and Benzema to Australia to play 2 pre-season friendlies with, I don't know, Melbourne City, Australia's best 11, and we're going to charge you $200 a pop.
Yeah.
I'd fucking take it.
Absolutely.
You take it in a heartbeat.
I think that's the biggest thing is just the fact that, as you said, Messi's 35 now. Ronaldo's 37. Friggin' the magician fucking retires today, 41.
Yep.
And he could.
Karim is. How's he now? Karim's 35 as well.
Oh, he's a lot older. Okay, fair enough.
Yep. So he's the same age as
Messi.
Messi. So look, as I said, I don't see it being a bad move. It's only going to be a bad move if they get
in their older years. They're
Yeah,
you're crazy not to. That's $2 billion for 2 seasons. Fuck me.
Mate,
sign me up.
Oh. God damn it! Now, you're speaking to a guy who does maths for a living. So hang on, let's have a look at this. $1 billion, and what are they going to be playing? A number of games, like what? 26 games?
20, 30 games at a maximum, I'd imagine.
All right, let's have a look here.
Cups and shit over there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to use the calculator on my phone because apparently my computer said no. Calculator. All right, so we're looking at about $1 billion per season.
Yeah. Here we go.
And
Messi's head spinning 1.9 billion Saudi switch. There you go.
So, okay, if you do $1 billion at 26 games in a season,
you're
looking at $38.5 million per game.
Fuck.
Why the fuck would you not go?
Oh, absolutely. And for 2 years. And you figure, yeah, exactly.
And
he's not stupid. You know what I mean? Like, he'll donate fucking half of that back to his hometown or fucking clubs or... You know what I mean? Like, Ronaldo's friggin'... This is the thing, right? You don't hear a lot of that shit from Messi. You know what I mean? And again, I don't obviously follow him as much as I follow Ronaldo. So, if he has, good on him. But I don't hear a lot about it. Messi sort of buying shit and friggin' giving back and stuff like that. I don't hear much of it.
no.
Ronaldo fucking he bought a hospital. He's fucking bought so much shit. His whole the island of Portugal, which is his hometown, he's freaking fully redeveloped all that shit. He paid for all the road works and all the freaking construction and shit to fucking get it all up to scratch and everything else, schooling and shit like that. He's done it all, right? And I'm not saying Messi has not done that. I'm sure he's definitely donated to buckloads of shit that the tax people don't know about. But friggin', they're doing it, but they're giving it back. They're doing it for the right reasons. You know what I mean? They've earned the right at
Oh,
35
absolutely.
and 37 and fucking whatever to go over and freaking earn that dollar if you still can. You're crazy not to.
Why do you think Craig Goodwin went over?
Oh, absolutely.
He was getting paid a decent kit and a half,
Do
and he wanted to come back over for his kid.
you think? Do you think the cum dog's freaking doing the right thing?
I actually don't.
You know what I mean? But that's
I
the thing, though.
don't think India is a good move for him.
No, seriously, I don't either. But the dollars are good though.
Well, look, don't
You
get
know
me
what I
wrong.
mean?
The dollars is definitely a reason, but
Yeah.
I just don't like for Cumdog. He's still got his career ahead of him. He's just recouped after 17 months.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was pretty much damaged goods.
Wouldn't go ahead
He's
of him.
come
He's
back.
29, I think.
Sorry,
He's 29. He's probably got one
he's
World
still
Cup.
got some time ahead of him.
One World Cup in him, mate.
He's still got another 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. I can't see why any Australian goes to India.
No,
Anyone. I don't give a fuck how old you are.
Look,
I don't give a fuck whether
I
you're
know
19.
I know Cheyenne, and if he's watching now, he's probably spamming the chat like a crazy folk. But I know Cheyenne watches a fair bit of the Indian Super League. I think it is.
Yeah.
So he's a huge buff on the Indian Super League. Maybe we can get him on for a chat one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But it's one of those things where I don't feel like it's going to enhance his career.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I can think of is he's going for the money, and maybe he likes a good vindaloo. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
it's just an interesting one for me. If you're in your 30s or you're in your 20s, let's just say he's in his 20s. If you're in your late 20s or 30s or whatever it is, and you have no ambition of representing your country again, fair enough. Whatever, go. Earn your big dollars or whatever it is before you retire and shit like that. Happy days. But surely he's still eyeing off one more World Cup. And it can't be the place to be. It's not the place to be. It's not the place to go and try and, I know it's a short season and I know that freaking they could probably get him back on loan or something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just...
Could you see Arnold picking him up from there, though?
No.
Really?
No way. Not a chance. He's looking at youth now already. That's the thing. He's not going to pick... I guarantee... I'll put money on it. He'll probably play in the Argentinian game because fucking obviously it's coming off the grand final and shit like that. But as soon as he steps foot over there and starts playing and shit like that, I can't imagine him getting picked up.
You reckon he gets swapped over for Tilio?
I don't give a fuck who he gets swapped over for. He just won't get... I just don't think he'll get picked. I just don't... It's just where you go to die. I don't know. That's not a fan. Dimmy went there and he hasn't been picked since. He played for Australia and then he went to India literally after that game and then he fucking hasn't been picked since.
He's been, yeah.
So, I'm sure there's others there. There's been plenty of others that have been over to India. But that's just the one off the top of my head I could think of. He's back in wherever he is now, Saudi Arabia or some shit. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, freaking good on them. They're making the big dollars. The biggest funny for me this week is the fact that is Messi, where he got booed off the fucking stadium, off the pitch for PSG. Like,
that's got to be a first in his career.
And that's exactly what I thought when I read it. I'm sitting there going, fuck, I bet he hasn't experienced... Oh, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not now that I think about it, because I'm like, he got fucking baited by his own country. His country fucking hate him, mate. They're not a fan at all. Probably not too bad now that he fucking got a World Cup, but fucking before...
They probably love him more than booking.
Oh, mate, yeah, no, he's been slagged many a games fucking for Argentina. But at club level, yeah, there's no way he's experienced anything like that. No way. So...
let's move on to a happier topic.
Yes.
The A-League Awards.
Yes. Before we go any further into that, that quickly. Yep, so we'll do the A-League Awards and then we'll finish on the big news, obviously, out of the last 72 hours. And we'll call that a wrap for the night. We do thank everyone for jumping in to the chat. If you've got any questions or comments and so forth, things we may have missed already.
Just reading through some of them at the moment.
Yep.
Matt Taylor asks where I can sign up to play in Saudi Arabia for the billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Matt, they've seen your browser history, and you are definitely not getting over there. Crumb, plus the rest of the shirt sales. Oh shit, yeah, the shirts, the merchandise alone would make back the $2 billion. If it's anything like the Qatar World Cup, I mean, what, they were paying $7,500 for a signed shirt, so absolutely.
Well, now that the season started as well over here, fucking the amount of Cristiano Ronaldo shirts you've seen in that yellow fucking Saudi strip, it's mental over it.
Former Wellington Phoenix coach, this is from Matt Taylor, former Wellington Phoenix coach Ricky Herbert was also coaching in the Indian Super League.
Yep.
And apparently he's also a fan of Marco Tilio.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
I don't mind him. I think he's a little bit, sometimes he's a hit and miss sort of player. We are talking, obviously, Marco Tilio.
Same one. Which one?
From City or City or Central Coast Mariners.
Yeah,
because I don't mind the City one. I just find him very inconsistent.
But yeah, so we'll get on to the awards night and everything else. Yes, Peacock was on the red carpet. Good on him. Just a couple of quick ones before we get into that, and then as I said, we'll touch on the major topic, which we'll talk about to end out the show. Just a couple of quick ones. Big shout out to we'll talk about that later. It's in the same sort of realm. It was something I was going to say now. I can't remember it now. That I was just Peacock's friggin' just throw me. Friggin' the Channel 7, the Channel 7 commentary team.
I knew you were going to talk about this.
Oh fuck, mate.
I knew you were going to talk about this.
If someone, if there's not one person here besides myself that almost friggin' put a bit of wee in their pants, it's friggin' today, not trying not to laugh at the commentary team of Channel 7 for this Women's World Cup. Fuck me dead. Oh man, what a classic! What an interesting friggin' time. It's what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Go and have a look at it. I'm not going to go through it all, but friggin' good luck to Peacock sorting that fucking peanut gallery out.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's another quick one.
Let's put it this way: when there's a sliding tackle and they scream out for a 50-meter penalty, don't be surprised.
There it is. Someone's gone.
Or hearing Bruce McAvaney going, "Oh, that goal was special."
I just can't imagine McAvaney in the World Cup. Fuck me down.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I know.
God. There's a reason why he gave away fucking commentating the Melbourne Cup and shit like that. I can't. Fuck.
Look, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for the guy and what he's done for Australian sport.
Love him.
All right.
Love him.
Love him. But the one that I was really surprised was David Bashir.
Yeah.
And I think Matt's just beat me to it.
Again.
Yes, David Boring Monotone Bashir.
Yeah.
I swear if you were to put him and Andy Harper in the same room talking to you for a good 2 hours, I believe it would breach the Geneva Conventions in regards to legitimised torture.
Wow, fuck me. I'm going to have to hit up Harps and get him back on the podcast, I think.
He'll probably block me on Twitter beforehand.
Yeah, probably.
Trust me, don't get me wrong, Simon Hill's already told me off for having to go with him.
Oh, wow. Look out. Hello. Right, we're going to quickly fly through the friggin' the awards, the A-League awards night. That's right. We're going to fly through it.
Ready to go.
We're going to fly through it because friggin' I had no idea when the fucking thing was on. I had no idea what channel it was on. No idea what was going on. So I didn't fucking see shit.
I don't even think it was televised.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But again, how pathetic. As if that's not televised fucking material. This is the cream of the crop in fucking Australian football.
Hey, calm down. This was a festival of football, mate. This is a week-long festival of football where we got to celebrate football being in Sydney.
Fucking anyway. Mm-hmm. What was I going to say?
So,
before we get into
do you want me to go through the honest?
Go through the list. Don't touch Adelaide. Obviously.
I won't. That's going to be the last.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting off with my favourite column, referee of the year, obviously Chris Beef. Which, surprisingly enough, a lot of comments made, and I was actually sort of agreeing with, where was Alex King?
Yeah.
There was no Alex King in the grand final lineup. I thought he would have at least been fourth official, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not even going to lie. When they ran through that shit of like fifth official and all that shit, I fucking didn't even know who they were.
Yep. But no, look, I think they all did exceptionally well.
Oh, yeah,
I thought
absolutely.
it was a really well refereed grand final, but I was just surprised not to see Kingy's name pop up because I think he's had a really good year, actually. Okay, goal of the year was Coley from Perth Glory.
Yes,
which I think I had a look at that one. It was a good goal, don't get me wrong, but was it goal of the year? I don't know.
How can you go past Diamante hitting that fucker from nearly halfway?
Yeah, I know. That was like, even I watched that. I'm like, look, no matter what Iram Kunda scores for the rest of the season, it can't beat that. That was just a total watch me play, watch me do my thing.
Not to mention that he's got fucking nearly 15 years on the bloke who won the freaking award. Like, come on.
I know. Okay, goalkeeper of the year. Lawrence Thomas, Western Sydney Wanderers. Was that a pity vote?
Oh, mate.
Did someone feel sorry for him?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. Definitely up there with fucking goalkeepers, top goalkeepers in the league.
Oh, but
there's no way. There is no
not best of the year.
How doesn't, and it's the thing, right? For me, keepers that should have won it, like not, just in general, who I feel should have won it over him. Vukovic should have won it over him.
Yeah.
Friggin' Glover should have won it over him. Obviously, friggin', you've got your little mate that keeps you fucking hard, friggin' from Adelaide, friggin' Gouchy.
He signed my shirt finally. He finally signed my pink kit.
Oh, look out, there you go. Obviously, Gouchy as well. I think Lockie Sale even over fucking him. I think Sale had a blind himself as well.
Yeah.
Just over Lawrence Thomas. I don't know. I just don't think he did anything spectacular. You know what I mean? He didn't keep them in, like an epic game, or friggin' he didn't make a save that sort of went, fuck, that's going to save their ass this week. You know what I mean? I think everyone I've said other than that has done that. Gouchy's done it fucking a few times over. Friggin' Glover saved fucking City's ass on fucking heap, God knows how many times. And for me, I still think he's probably the best keeper in the A-League at the moment. He's just brilliant.
Yep.
Right. Viktor Vukovic and everything as well. So, don't know.
Yeah.
Wrong for me.
Yeah, same. Young Footballer of the Year. I actually have to agree with this one. It was Jordan Boss from Melbourne City.
Yeah.
Now, from memory serves me, isn't he on the move as well?
Yes. Yeah, he's off to...
Who's he going to?
Denmark? Belgium.
That's right. I think he's... Yeah. Because who's heading off to Sunderland?
That's the Central
Chuck
Coast
can help
bloke,
us as well. That'd be good because I know someone's heading over to Sunderland, and I'm
pretty sure that's
really keen to see that.
I think that's a coastie. I think. Yeah.
Golden Boot was
out.
Jamie McLaren. No surprise, 24 goals this season.
The guy
is just a machine.
Can't fuck
just
that
a machine.
He's look. Look. It's interesting though, isn't it? Though you compare that to the grand final, and he was fucking nowhere to be seen. He was nowhere.
Yep.
So,
no, but I think what's amazing with him is everyone calls him a tap-in merchant. Yes, he is. But you know what? I'd rather a tap-in merchant that's going to score 24 goals in a season than a worldie who scores 6 in a season.
Thanks, Lewis.
So, so Joe Marston Award or medal for the grand final was Prijovic from Western United. Oh no, that was
no.
Okay, this hasn't been updated. My apologies. Who ended up winning that? That was
who was that? Sorry,
Cub Dog, wasn't it? For the player of the grand final?
Yeah, Cub Dog.
Yeah, it was Cub Dog, yep. So that would be updated in time. All right. Let's have a look here. Fair Play Award goes to Brisbane Raw for the least amount of second yellows and red cards.
They played well. They got shafted. They should have been finals. Playing semi-finals football.
Well, because they had Charlie Austin at the start of the season. He was really looking promising. And then I think it was just his family dynamic didn't work.
Yeah. No, that was just pure family issues and shit like that. So he had to go back to England for that. But
I was actually I had the pleasure of meeting him when they thumped Adelaide United knocked us out of the Australia Cup over here. I said to him in person right there and then, look, I'm going to hate you on the pitch, but off the pitch, I have nothing but respect for you. Because he did so much in hyping the game for the A-League on Twitter. It was ridiculous. Like, watching him and his family's Twitter was absolutely the greatest thing ever. He was built for this league. It's just unfortunate it didn't happen.
It's like for me, O'Shea. Like, I've got nothing but respect for that bloke. I've been lucky enough to meet him. He come actually over after the game when they played Brisbane, when they played the Jets at home, and had a great chat with me and a few other of the Jets fans and shit like that. Absolute legend. And I just think they just weren't. I don't know. They got robbed a few times and shit like that. But they should have played finals football, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Easily. All right. Now we move on to my two favourite categories. The first one, which made Ray Gatt absolutely salty as fuck on Twitter. It was glorious to watch as he was crying foul that his poor old Monty, because he got a red card, was disqualified from this award, even though this was actually voted by the other coaches. Coach of the Year, 2022 to 2023 was Mr. Carviet, Mr. Profanity himself. So, what's your views on this, Josh? And then I'll have a chat about mine.
Look, at the end of the day, we'll make it short and sweet so we can move on to other topics. But friggin', at the end of the day, he done everything. He done everything right, and I mean that in regards to not just the fact that the results, the way he went about selecting his players, the way he went about moulding the youth, the way he went about, not pushing players. I think that's the biggest one for me. He never pushed a player that was either a 50-50. 80% maybe. He could have played 20 minutes. No, fuck it. Don't risk him. We'll leave him off the bench. He was very cautious with who he played, when he played them, and where he played them. I think is the biggest one for me, and the only coach I think out of the whole group that did so. I think every other coach sort of just went, if they were in trouble, they just went, fuck it, that'll do. They didn't really look and think. And again, he's a very strategic coach, and I think that's why I personally feel the other coaches voted for him, just because of how strategic he is and how on the money he is with little things like that. So yeah, for me, right. I don't think it was probably a wrong decision. I think there was probably a couple of coaches there that probably could have earned the right, but at the end of the day, definitely wasn't the wrong decision.
Yep, I have to agree. Obviously, because considering he's our coach, I think Carl's mentality and his work ethic, this hasn't just been a season or two. This has been 6 or 7 years with him working for the NTC squads, building a really good structure in the youth development, and then being able to see that flow through into the actual Adelaide United teams. You can see it coming from the NPL squad to the A-League squad. They're playing very similar styles. You can see that they're trying to develop them ready to go. So when they do move into the A-League standard, it's not a huge shock. What I will respect the most is the way he's been able to handle Irankunda. He's done it with all of his young stars, which is, I know what you can do. I want you to show the crowd what you can do. I'm not going to coach you. I'm going to let you do what you need to do to play the style you want. And the way he's been able to mold that into his team's dynamic, it's been great because it's allowed these young players to really shine. But on the other hand as well, it's also been where probably one of his weaknesses is when you look at the defensive line. I think that's something that he can look at the end of the season and go, right, that's definitely needs improvement.
Yep.
Overall, though, do I think he's been one of the best coaches in Australia? Absolutely. I mean, some people may jump up and down and say, well, what about the City Group? Well, yes, they've also had a shit ton of money chucked their way in order to build the squad that they have. Basically, Carl is working on an eighth of what they are, with regards to the facilities they have, in regards to the connections they have, in regards to the scouting reports they can use, etc. And he's been able to build the majority of his squad from local talent. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I think if Chris Norbo was there and he's seen that the whole season, he would have been hard to beat.
Yeah.
But you can't vote for him or the City group. The City group, as soon as they changed mid season, as soon as any A League club, if an A League club changes mid year, you're wiped. You're stripped. Yep. That's it. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether they're doing well, like City were, and he got them to the grand final.
Yep.
But again, it wasn't his team. It wasn't his fucking. He's just copying everything. So you know, but yeah, as you said, good on him. Good luck. Congratulations, and can he do it again next year? Let's go.
And now for my favourite award, the one, the only, Johnny Warren medalist, Mr. Craig. Motherfucking good one. Yes, he is, Taylor. He is definitely the best player in the A-League's men's competition at the moment. I'll have your thoughts first, Josh, before I start drooling over my god.
Yeah, shit. Only if he was as good at FIFA as what he was fucking playing real game. Look, at the end of the day, fucking, I'm not gonna. Very short, very sweet. Did he deserve to win? You know, the major honour this year. Look, I don't think there was many other players you could have given it to. You know, who's done as much as he has on the pitch. But not only on the pitch, but as a whole for Australian football. You know what I mean? Like he's got the youth, you know, from under 10s and under watching him. He's got the women watching him. He's got the mums. He's got the dads. He's got the fucking grandparents. Everybody's watching him. Everyone wants to see him do well. And that's the biggest thing for me, is he's now portrayed as this, you know, just generally great guy who just, you know, doesn't take any shit, wants the best out of himself, but more importantly, he wants the best out of his players. Because if his teammates are playing well, fucking makes him look fantastic. So when he puts a ball into fucking, you know, Iraconda or fucking whatever, it makes him look good. If they're doing their job, makes him look like fucking Superman. So, good on him. Don't think there was really anybody else in a professional sense of, you know, the professional people voting for a player of the year. Nobody else you would give it to. So, So I'll get your thoughts, mate, and then I'll get into my favourite friggin' award of the night.
Yep. So, Craig Goodwin, I've had the absolute pleasure of having a fair few connections with him, obviously through the Red Army. I was lucky enough to be one of the ones to help set up the welcome home to him from the airport. And the guy is one of the most modest players you'll ever meet. He's not a huge fan of being in the public eye, but he realises that a part of his role is required. I think the joy of us watching him being one of the only players to actually turn around and say, no, I don't like the grand final decision, and no, I don't support it, but it's a part of my contract, and was able to openly, honestly say that in front of the news was good, because it meant that we had a voice in there as well. And to be honest with you, watching him in the Socceroos, watching him perform on the world stage, that we knew he could be as good as we've been watching over the years, was just an absolute joy. And I was lucky enough to sit down and have a beer with his dad the week that they got back, and we were watching the game at the RGK, and just being able to share that moment with Tony and revel in his son's experiences and his passion. And you know, he's an Auburn boy as well, so fairly close to where I grew up. And as I said, I've just got nothing but the utmost respect for Craig Goodwin as a player and as a person. So him and his family are just absolutely wonderful people. And, you know, I wish him nothing but the utmost best for the upcoming season as well, because I think he'll he'll see what he's been close enough to now twice, and he'll want to chase that that cup next season.
Absolutely. Can someone get Robby a friggin' napkin or something to wipe the shit fucking dribbling off his chin? I'm just going to end on that note, friggin', because I know you're watching out there, fucking Craig, mate. I replied to you, and I said congratulations, and you haven't fucking responded back to me yet. So, come the fuck on. Just don't be such a lazy sod. You weren't even at the grand final. You had plenty of time to reply back. For me, quickly before we freaking go into the final topic of the night, my favourite award of the night, and fucking it is, because it's a truth award. You know what I mean? Like, and that is the fans player of the year. You know, it's all good winning the top dog award and shit like that. You're voted by some of the legends of the game and shit like that. But for me, the fans player of the year is definitely an interesting one, because it changes so drastically every year. And I think this year they've fucking nailed it. Absolutely nailed it on the head. So the fans player of the year was Oscar Zawada from Wellington Phoenix. Their main man up top, mate. He is fucking magic. He is so good. The moment he friggin' gets to a better club, we'll definitely see some fucking superstar fireworks. But I think they're on the money. Honestly, short and sweet. I think they're on the money with him. He's a weapon. He's a great player, and good to see the fans voting for someone who probably deserved it. You know what I mean? You could have picked a lot of the freaking semi-finalists and all this sort of shit, but he was a weapon. He was solid all year. So for me, good result on that note. Anyway, I'm going to quickly finish off so we can get the hell out of here, and we don't not bore you for any more time than what we've freaking already taken up of. So, final topic tonight, nice, quick and easy one, is obviously big congratulations to Ange Postecoglou, the treble again. Moy, again, the treble. Love and life over there in Scotland. Unfortunately, it is not the main topic of Ange Postecoglou right now. He should be enjoying his victory. He should be enjoying, just obviously what he's done for that club. But there's massive talk, floating around at the moment from every fucking newsstand, from every freaking, in every country around the world, in regards to him going to Spurs. We'll get your thoughts in the chat if you want to whack your thoughts in there of Ange going to Spurs. Me, personally, I fucking pray. I honestly pray that this deal fucking doesn't happen. I hope it falls through massively. On plenty of reasons. One, I would hate that these guys are the most grubbiest pricks. Their ownership and everything is just fucked. They just let blokes go, for the most ridiculous things. I would almost say that half the coaching squad, half the coaches in the last decade, if they were given more time to sort of to sort out the squad and thin the squad and then rebuild the squad, it probably wouldn't be the shit show it is today. And I don't see them giving Ange that time. I think they will give him, if he's not performing with what he's got, come, I don't know, fucking 10 games, we've seen people sacked for less, 10 games into the season, he's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be a team next year that 99% chance won't have Harry Kane. And Spurs without Harry Kane is just fucking, fuck. Who steps into that? It's, for me it's a shit show. I think it's a dumb decision for Ange to do it. Do I think he's earned the right to be called up for Spurs and stuff like that? Absolutely. I think he's a great coach, and I think he will do magic things at a big name club. But if this goes south, the big clubs walk away, and then he's left with the fucking championship and fucking shit like that, or a very fucking shit side down the bottom of the Prem fighting to fucking stay in the Prem. I would rather see him go to a lower league side and be given the time, because they will give him the time. They're not expecting to win the league. They're not expecting to fucking play Europe and shit like. They are expected to survive. And
so, who would you suggest would be a better club for Ange to go to in the EPL?
In the EPL,
Hmm.
I'd love to. I think you do great. I think you do great at Palace. A team like Crystal Palace, who is, I believe, looking for another manager. I think Moyes. Is it Moyes? Oh no, it was friggin' what's his name? Friggin' was there. He's finished now. Bloody fuck. Hodge. So he was there. So I think he's finished up now. So therefore, I think they're still looking for a coach. Don't quote me on it. But a club like that, a lower, Everton, he'd fucking thrive at Everton, like fucking Christ. Because Everton's got the money. Everton can buy the right players. Something just happened to me.
Let me put it to you this way. So when Ange went to Japan,
Yes.
right? Which club did he go to?
Mykonos. Mykonos. Yokohama. Sorry.
Yokohama, right? So they're one of the biggest clubs in Japan.
Yeah, owned by the city.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So they've been able to chuck the shit ton of money that's required for Ange to get the players he's need. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not about to throw shade at Ange. I've considered him to be one of the best coaches that Australia has produced.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When he left the Australian squad, I was absolutely fucking gutted because I knew we were going to get some dropkick like Arnold, who at that stage I thought was a dropkick. He started to win me back. I will say that. All right. So he's then moved to Celtic, the biggest club in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who, again, chucked them a shit ton of money so he could get the players he needed to get them the titles that they deserved and they expected. Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I'm between two minds here. This is coming from a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
We fucking hate Tottenham.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So for me, I'm between two minds here.
Yep.
I want to see Ange go over the EPL and show that Australia has talent.
Yep.
I want him to go over there and fucking succeed.
Yep.
But it's going to be for Tottenham. So even when he succeeds, it hurts me. So for me, I don't want him going to Tottenham. But on the other hand, I think Tottenham is probably the best spot for him to go to because they will chuck him the money that he's going to need to build the squad. My concern is going to be, and this is something you touched on before, giving a coach half a season or a season to be able to build the team that they want in the style that they want is unacceptable. Because 98% of the time, you are left with the squad that the former coach, manager had and wasn't able to do anything with.
Yeah.
So while sometimes, yes, it's the coach or sometimes it's the manager, there's got to be some connection there as well in regards to the players that they have and the players that they're left with that they've then got to go, shit, how do I deal with this? Now, don't get me wrong, you're getting paid that shit ton of money. You'd want to make sure that you can do that because that's what you're getting paid to do. On the other hand, I just don't know whether that's something Ange has been able to do in the past or that's something that he's ever actually experienced with because whenever he's moved into a club, he's known he's had a 2-3 year experience or 2 or 3 year opportunity where he can turn around to the board and say, look, this first year, it's going to be a bit scrappy. Yep, I completely agree. We're not going to finish probably in the top 6. We might finish in the top 8. But the season after, when I'm able to change around the plans, remove some players, add some new fresh blood in, then you can start seeing the fruits where we'll finish top 3, top 2, and or top 1. So I don't think Tottenham Hotspurs is going to have that form of patience.
No.
A lot of English Premier League clubs don't. They change their coaches more than they change their underwear. And I think that's where I think you've sort of hit the money on, or hit the nail on the head, where I think this will be a situation where Ange is going over with the best intentions. He's not stupid. He knows what he's getting himself in for. But I strongly believe he loses 2, 3, 4 at the start of the season, and that contract looks very terrible straight away.
There's plenty of issues, right? And you said you've touched on a few of them. You brought a few up in regards to where was he? Yokohama, one of the top clubs. Celtic, one of the top clubs. Yeah, obviously, top club in Scotland. But the problem is that top club in Scotland, in England, is a fucking struggling Premier League team. Spurs have got fucking, I would estimate, without even looking, going on to FIFA and have a look at the FIFA funds or whatever, there'd be freaking $40 million in front of what the money he had to spend at Celtic. He brought Japanese blokes in because they were cheap. And he knew how to work with them. That was the biggest thing. It's a win-win for me. It's not a fuck, I don't even know. It's not a Jurgen Klopp bringing in a Japanese bloke and fucking going, he cost me nothing. But fuck, I don't know how he works. I don't know how he operates. So that was Celtic's. That was Ange's big thing. I worked in Japan. I know how they operate. I know how they work. I can get the best out of the players, and they're cheap. And he fucking perfect. The biggest thing is, as you said, there's no way in hell he's walked into either the fucking boardroom or the Zoom meeting or whatever they've spoken or they've come out to see him, whatever. And Spurs have gone, our ambition is to finish top 10. No. Our ambition is to play Champions League football. And if you can't fucking get us there, and if come 10 games time, we aren't even fucking close to sitting in the top 4, you're fucking gone.
Yep.
The Premier League is fucking ruthless. 12 coaches gone before Christmas this season.
Yep.
12.
So Tottenham Hotspurs at the moment were valued via Forbes in March of 2022 at €1.9 billion.
Yeah, cool. What's Celtic at? No way they've cracked the billion. No way they've cracked.
Now you got me curious.
Yeah, because I was kind. I said 40 million difference.
Definitely.
Fuck, and that's what I'm saying. Celtic. Find out. Find out.
All right. Okay. Do you want to take a stab in the dark?
Yeah. Before you said anything, I said to you that they are a struggling Premier League side if they come to England, right? Fuck, I don't know. Fucking I'm just trying to think of a low. Nottingham Forest had 130 million thereabouts.
Hey, chat, play along on this one. Chuck your estimates. How much do you think Celtic's worth? Don't be peeking because I can tell
they're worth.
straight away if someone puts in.
Like if someone was to buy them.
Yep.
Oh fuck, that's a different game. I was just talking to spend. I was just talking of their rough budget of spend. Oh fuck, how much they?
No. So Tottenham is worth $1.9 billion.
$1.9 billion
euro or pound.
I'm gonna go. Fuck. I'm gonna go 60 million.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go around 60 mil. It's not over 100, and it's above 50.
You are in the ballpark.
That's where I would sit. That's where I sit. It changes all the
Just
fucking
waiting
time.
to see if there. I'm waiting to see if there's any.
Everyone, cool. There you go. I've given you a rough idea.
Matt's gone for the above and beyond 285 mil. All right. So Celtic is worth 79 million euro.
There you go.
Or pound.
There you go.
So there's a huge difference. You're going from a 79 million pound club to a 1.9 billion club.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's cheap. That's cheap. It's less than friggin' Nottingham Forest, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
It's next level. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's too high. It's too high. He's not gonna know what to do with fucking buying a player for $60 million. His whole squad only cost the players he bought in and what he's spent is in the realm of like fucking $60 million. It's his whole squad.
Someone on Twitter today actually put a really, really funny tweet up, and I had to commend them for it. It was something along the lines of, how do you think Ange is going to go trying to direct Sun, who, because of Ange knocking him out of the World Cup, Sun had to do his military service?
If Kane goes, Son won't be far behind him. I reckon January.
Those two are best buds.
Yeah, he will go. They won't go to the same place or whatever it is, but there's no way. Son won't be hanging around for that shit. No disrespect to whoever comes in as coach. He's not hanging around for that shit. He goes, Kane goes.
To be honest with you, I feel like Kane and Son have been looking for a way out for a little while now.
100%.
You can just tell the way they've been playing.
100%.
And I feel like this is their opportunity to go, look, we don't like how this club's going. Yep. We don't like the direction it's going. We'll see you all later.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's, again, half the reason of why I don't want Ange anywhere near it. Because it's just fucking, it's toxic. It's, you know, I mean, like, the club's not toxic. Yep. They're solid and they've got the money and they're fine. But it's toxic.
Just the indecisiveness.
It's toxic as a coach because you've got to come in there and you've got to do a lot more work than fucking what you would hope to do. You would hope to come in and have at least half the squad. They don't. They've sold.
Oh, for sure.
There's about 8 of them that have already gone out off contract. They've lost fucking what's his name left friggin' earlier. Can't remember his name now. But he'd been there for like years as well. He's one of the other guys. He's gone. Yeah, I don't know.
It's toxic. A rebuild. Anyway, but maybe that is a good spot for him to be in because then he's able to rebuild the club in the way he needs it. If you've already got 8 or 9 guys gone, like Kane and Son, and you've got Ange coming in going, right, I've got fresh possibilities. Let's see your scouting reports. I want him. He's got 98% of that club that he can restructure and purchase.
Put it this way.
It's not a bad position to be in.
Yeah. I know. It's a tough one. We're going to end on this one because we're going to wrap it up. Friggin', at the end of the day, look, if he goes to Spurs, fucking good luck to him. I'll be rooting for him as not a Spurs fan, but fuck, I hope they do fucking well this season coming for his sake.
Just as long as they're below Chelsea.
Mate, you got a lot of fucking work to do.
Hey, we've already moved up to 7.
Fucking Jesus Christ, mate. Fucking you should up fucking your Chelsea ownership, mate. Fucking they could do a coach like Ange. At the end of the day, hopefully he friggin' doesn't get the shit, stomped out of him and that. I think he's a good enough coach to fucking go out and then come back in. So hopefully another club sort of at the same time of if it goes to shit at Spurs, fucking something happens there and he gets a way back into the Prem. But it's a big difference, a big jump. It'll be like nothing he's fucking witnessed ever in his life. He's never, as I said, going from Japan, having a budget of fucking, $20 million to then getting a budget of $60 to $70 million to then going to Spurs and you're fucking buying players, one player for that dollar is next level. The biggest issue as well out of that is you got to think, is they're going to get fuck all for Kane? Nothing. He's old, he's done, and he's going to walk away on a free transfer. So they're getting nothing for him. Look, it'll be an interesting one. Good luck to him. I'm sure we'll be talking about it next week. I'm sure something will have come out, whether it's a done deal or fucking it's scrapped or whatever it is by that time. As I believe listening to the reports, they want it done in 7
What you're saying, Josh?
Yep.
What you're saying, Josh, is it's confirmed Harry Kane to Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
On a free transfer deal.
Oh, mate, again, I'm not a fucking Harry Kane fan, but I wouldn't wish wouldn't wish that on his life either. Fuck me dead. Jesus Christ. There's plenty of fuckwits I'd bloody like to come to the Jets compared to that wanker. Fucking hell. He'll get a good... Mate, I'll tell you who I'll take. Get another one left fucking... obviously, Real Madrid the other day. I'll take Hazard off your hands. 76 games played, 76 games injured. Superstar. Fuck off back to Chelsea. Left Chelsea and his world just went upside fucking down.
Well, that's what happened.
So, yeah, friggin' at the end of the day, there's another one. He'll be itching to get something somewhere. He needs to come back to the Prem, I think. I think it's where he plays his best football and fucking hopefully he can make something of his latter stage of his career. Otherwise, fucking go to Saudi Arabia. I'm sure they'll take you for something. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. We're going to wrap it up. We do thank everyone for jumping on and giving us their insights and thoughts. Hope you've enjoyed the brand new podcast with myself and Robby. It's not the same without Benny, but friggin' at the end of the day, we'll make do. Until next week, though, guys, friggin' we hope you enjoy your football wherever you may be watching it, getting down to the pointy end of the Australian Cup. Plenty of teams being announced into the final 32. I believe South Australia's got a couple which will be sorted in the next week. I think Perth are almost done as well.
Last week happened. Metro Stars beat Bacala. I think it was 5-1. And then we got our next game on Wednesday night.
There you go.
So get down to Service FM Stadium if you're here. I'm sure it'll be a cracking match.
Absolutely. Righto, guys. We'll leave it there. We do thank everyone for jumping on, as we said. We'll catch you guys next week, where I'm sure there won't be too much A-League talk, but plenty of stuff going on around in Europe. It is that pointy end of the season now where the football wraps up, the international start, but the transfers and all the friggin' ownership deals and all the friggin' new coaches and shit the clog starts to turn, and it gets real fucking interesting over the next couple of weeks. We'll touch on the championship next week as well, which is going to be a fucking big one. Massive. Championship is looking stacked as fuck. For all you championship fans out there, Benny, myself, and a few others in here, Robby and shit, it's going to be a stacked friggin' card. There hasn't been this many winning Premier League sides in the championship in its history. Blackburn, Leicester, and there's another one, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. I did read it somewhere. Anyway, guys, we'll leave it there. Take it easy. We'll see you guys next week. And thanks for watching. And as always, now that the grand final's fucking done,
we hate Coast Scum.
We hate Coast Scum. Take it easy, guys. See you next week. Cheers again, Robby.
Cheers.